Alrighty, so I don't want to keep everybody waiting, so I'm going to make a start. So welcome and good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining my talk. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy that you are here. So before we begin, I just wanted to quickly give you a bit of an intro to who I am. I am Claire McKenzie. I'm a life coach with a focus on helping professional women in their 40s to rediscover their freedom, sense of fun and adventure and purpose in life and career. And I'd started my coaching business in 2019 after feeling really stuck and unhappy in my career, which I'd been in for 11 and a half years. And I used coaching as a way to help me to rediscover my freedom and purpose in life. And so my mission really is to help connect women to their life purpose and values, whether they feel at a crossroads or they feel like they've lost confidence, want more flexibility, or want to pivot in their careers. And my inspiration came from reading an article from a well-known businesswoman who had herself pivoted her career to retrain to become a life coach. And since graduating as a coactive professional life coach, I did my training with the Coactive Training Institute. I provide one-to-one life coaching services and help clients to overcome their limiting beliefs, nurture their strengths, and basically change lives and help people live their full potential. So that's just a little bit about me. So I have a question for everybody. Who here has a life purpose? And I'm not going to ask anybody to share it. I'm just interested to know. And if you do have one, could you just put a Y in the chat so I can see the chat, which is good. Wow. Okay. Amazing. Some yeses. Amazing. Amazing. That's really good. That's really great. That's actually more than I was expecting. And a lot of people tend to put sort of a work in progress. So people don't necessarily come to coaching saying, you know, I want a more fulfilling life. They generally they've come with something specific in mind, and there isn't this kind of necessarily a connection between whatever their specific issue is and having a more fulfilling work or life experience. But essentially the connection is there underneath, and a fulfilling life is one of meaning, purpose and satisfaction. And something that we do in coaching is to help our clients get clear on that feeling of resonance. And resonance is something we talk about a lot in coaching. Resonance is that feeling of wholeness, of satisfaction and harmony, and it's where you've got sort of your life is vibrating at a frequency where everything that you value feels aligned. And essentially, life purpose is another way of another way of capturing the essence of. So I'm trying to do the slide, realise I can't do two things at once. So sorry, life is really just another way of capturing the essence of the feeling of being fully alive, of living life intentionally. So my slides don't seem to be moving on. Okay. So a more sort of recent trend is that people are now looking for careers and jobs that are not just about paying the bills, that they want something that is more meaningful and to feel like they've contributed and really made a difference. And you know, I think finding a work purpose can be really motivating and really quite enriching. And so with that, I wanted to give you a bit of a sort of coaching taster to help you to connect with that feeling of resonance. And it's something that we do in coaching to begin to uncover values that are important to the client. So if you want to join in, I'd be very happy for you to do. What I would just say is that if you have experienced trauma, then look after yourself and don't spend time in areas where it's difficult to explore. This is a really gentle visualization. It should take around about 5 minutes. You may want a pen and a piece of paper to hand if you want to write anything down afterwards. And so I will let you know when we're starting, and I'll also let you know when we're finished, so you don't wonder why I've gone silent. And I'm going to try and give you time to just, as you're in the visualization, to not have my voice speaking, and you can just sort of concentrate on the feelings. So we're going to start this now. At the end, I ask some questions. So I'll do that as you have your eyes closed. So if you can sit comfortably or lay comfortably wherever you are, and close your eyes. And now I'm going to begin the visualization. So imagine that you're on stage in front of a large group of people who are milling about. There is a buzz in the room. Look out over the crowd. Feel the feelings you're having as you are about to address the gathering. Just as you step up to the microphone, time freezes for an instant, and you hear a voice in your ear that says your name and then says, in the next 30 seconds, you will have a chance to have any impact you want on this entire group. It will only be one chance, one impact, but all of these people will be changed in some way. They will have a different life because of the impact that you have had on them. And so you have 30 seconds, so I'm just going to time down 30 seconds. Fifteen, 14, 13, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now, if you want to slowly open your eyes, and I'll give you a moment to just reflect on the experience. And what I'll just say around this particular exercise, the reason that we do it is to connect, to allow the client to connect with the feeling of resonance. It's also a way that we can start to uncover values, the things that are important to you. Values that by honouring, you have this feeling of internal rightness. And essentially values are just the absolute essence. They're things that we cannot be without. They're not morals, and they're not rules. They are just the essence of you. They what make you tick. So I have some questions for you, and I would love it if you were to, anybody would like to share what came up for them during that visualization, and it's completely up to you. If you want to keep that private, that's completely fine as well. So what impact did you have? What came up for you during that visualization? What happened to the people? How were you and the others transformed? And who are you being to have such an impact? I'll just give you a moment just to reflect on that and make any notes if that's what you'd like to do. Would anybody like to share what came up for them? I love that. I wanted everyone to be kinder. Yeah, interesting. So, I mean, just to share the values that I hold, you know, important is freedom, and you know that's something that comes through in what I want for the people that I help. You know, is freedom. There's a sense of adventure. You know, traveling for me when I was younger was really important, and you know, comedy and being fun. Those are really important values for me. Yeah, I told people to be happy. It's amazing. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Amazing, thank you. I really appreciate you taking part. You know, and this is something that we do in coaching, usually at the beginning of a coaching relationship, because it's really important to start to uncover people's values. And that's how we then start to build around finding purpose. Oh, okay, there's another comment. Every girl can be whoever they want to be, not trapped by gender stereotypes and not being afraid of public comments. Yeah, I love that. That's really powerful. Yeah. So life purpose is a path. It's not a direction, and you know our lives are not linear. And throughout our lives, we you know can go off in different directions. But you know, having a life purpose, or being able to define a life purpose, really helps us to gives us direction. So as we move into the sort of the current situation that we're in, it's all pretty all-encompassing, and you know, it's really unprecedented times, and things on the other side of this are going to be different, both in our work and in life, and in lots of ways quite profoundly, and it can feel really quite overwhelming. You know, we've just been told that we're now going to be in lockdown for another 3 weeks. And it's you know, we don't want to feel like we're not fully in control of our circumstances, and it's difficult from this place to think about making decisions, and it's really easy to forget that feeling of resonance that we've just helped to discover during that visualization. And so, you know, I think that even though we are in this place of a physical constraint, there is, you know, there's an opportunity to utilize the sort of the societal pulls, and to embrace this slower pace that we've kind of been forced into, and sort of gain an element of mental freedom, and creativity. And it's also an opportunity, I think, to reflect on where you are now and get clarity on what you want, and so that when we re-emerge on the other side of all of this, that you have a clearer idea of what you want and how you're going to take action. And a question that I have shared before, and I think this is quite interesting, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You know, when we go back to normal, what parts of the old normal do you want to let go of, and which parts would you like to keep? And it may be because, you know, what I do understand here is I'm talking from, you know, very general perspective. People are in lots of different situations right now. People have lost people are caring for people are homeschooling, people are living alone. So, you know, everyone's in very different situations. But I just wondered if anyone has any thoughts on what would you like to let go of from the old world. I think from my perspective, what I've really noticed is, or certainly watching on television, the countries where there is, where you haven't been able to see, I think it's like the Himalayas, I haven't been able to see that for decades. And now, because the pollution has gone, that now you can actually see that. I think what I'm really appreciating, I want to keep, is that feeling of connection with my family, because although I see them a lot, I think not being able to hug people is really hard. But what I know is we, as a family, have a much stronger connection to each other, I think, because of all of this. We're doing a lot of remote, and also, what would I keep? My parents are now using technology, which they weren't doing before. So yeah, so really interesting. Thank you. So I want to let go of the idea that I need to go to the gym and pay loads of money to exercise. Yeah, I know, it's so true. I mean, you go out for your hour exercise now, and I've never seen so many people running and cycling and scootering and doing their exercise outside, and actually it's all free. So that's pretty amazing. So yeah, so mindset and beliefs, part of taking action and making progress is having a positive mindset. And Tony Robbins, who you may all well know, but he's a very well-known coach and speaker, says that 80%, success is 80% about mindset. And we are, from the day we're born, we're receiving positive and negative messages. We're getting messages all over the place, all around our worlds, and those messages all become part of our belief system, and they affect how we see ourselves and how we see others. And we don't really notice them because they're so embedded. As we're living our life every day, so we don't see them. We just absorb many of these beliefs, and some of these are negative, some of them are positive, and we build stories around these beliefs. So an example of that is that you may consider yourself to be somebody who's really bad with money, and that's a story that you're telling yourself for whatever reason. And more than likely, if you have that as a belief, then more than likely you're probably acting in ways that reinforce that kind of stereotype. Another example is that on Facebook, how many times have we found ourselves scrolling around on Facebook, and what appears to be other people having these wonderfully beautiful lives, and they're all very successful, or they're all very beautiful, or whatever that is, and actually we have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know that to be true, and more than likely it's not true, but it sort of reinforces any insecurities that we have about ourselves, and it really it can feed, limiting beliefs really can feed into our anxieties. It can really erode our confidence and reduce our resilience. And if we tell ourselves often enough that these stories are true, then we start to believe them, and so ultimately they impact on the decisions that we make, and then they hold us back from fulfilling our potential. And I just wanted to go back, actually, Olivia, thank you for your comments there. Let go of the idea that self-care is being selfish and a luxury. Keep gratitude and connection. And I just think that is just so true. Self-care is really important on so many levels, and even if you're a mother, father, carer, whatever, but if you're not looking after yourself, it makes and you're not looking after your own sort of mental health and physical health, it's difficult to really be 100% for everybody else that you're looking after. So I just wanted to talk about a client that I was coaching recently. So we'll call her Emily, and she had just started in a new company, and the reason she came to me was because she'd started this company and she just didn't like it. But what she was recognizing was that she kept feeling the same way. She'd go for similar jobs and she always felt the same way. And she would go for the types of jobs where she liked them initially, but she'd kind of go with the flow because it looked like it was a kind of interesting job, but hadn't really thought any more deeply about it. And so when we talked about this, I asked her what it was that she didn't like about these jobs and why was she going for jobs like this. And she said that she had this limiting belief that she wasn't clever, and therefore she wasn't good enough to go for the jobs and the career choices that she really wanted to go for, and which was to be in health education and working internationally. And so we explored these limiting beliefs, and what we got to was growing up, she had this view that she wasn't clever, and this had come from school. It had come from parents. There was no particular expectation on her to really do anything with her life. When we explored it further, I asked her, well, where's the evidence that you're not clever? And then what we discovered was that she actually had gone back into education because she'd left school initially with not a lot of qualifications. She'd gone back into education, had got herself a couple of A-levels, she'd gone off and she'd gone to university and she had a degree. So, we talked about that. So, okay, so again, where's the evidence that you're not clever? And so as we sort of explored that further, what she realized was that, and so we sort of looked at her skills as well and lined it up against the kinds of jobs that she wanted to go for. And, lo and behold, she had a lot of the skills that matched. And once we'd sort of challenged her limiting beliefs, she realized that, I guess, that they didn't have that much hold on her anymore, and that actually she could go for anything she wanted to go for. She could follow her passion. We, also had worked on her life purpose. She had a direction, and she could look at the opportunities through a new lens. And I think that, really her story teaches us something in that, her beliefs had created the boundaries around the actions that she was taking in life. And essentially, beliefs can limit you, but they can also empower you. And we can choose. We can make resonant choices on the beliefs that we want to hold on to, the beliefs that we want to embrace, and also the beliefs that we want to let go of. And I think it's, whatever we do, whether we let go of them, whether we hold on to them, whether we embrace them, though they all have a direct impact on the decisions that we make and the opportunities that we pursue in life. And so, just so you know, she, Emily, applied for different types of jobs. She applied for her, jobs that she felt, not just jobs, a career. It was that she knew that she could make more of a contribution to, that she could make a difference, and is now living in Paris because she said she wanted to work internationally, and now she's working in the field that she had longed to work in before, which was health education. And so I'll leave you with these questions, and I would love, I can open this up, and I don't even know how much time I've got, but happy to open them up. So yeah, I'll leave you with these. What is a long-held limiting belief that is holding you back? And what is it costing you? And what would be possible if you could get beyond it? So I'm just hearing here, I don't have a lot of time. So if anybody would like to share anything in the chat box, I would be thrilled. Otherwise, this is me, and thank you so much for taking the time to join this and to listen to me. If any of you would like to get in touch, I'd be very happy and delighted to have a conversation with you. You can find me in these various places. I've got a giveaway, and which you'll see on the Fearless site. I'm also offering 20% discount on a 60-minute power hour coaching session. Come find me. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the summit. It's really been amazing. Thank you.